Now let us discuss about the two-phase commit protocol for a nested transaction. A outermost transaction in a set of a nested transaction is called a top-level transaction. Transactions other than top-level transactions are called sub-transactions. As you can see in this particular figure, the transaction T is a top-level transaction and the transactions T1, T2, T11, T12, T21 and T22 are sub-transactions. Transactions T1 and T2 are child transactions of transaction T, which is referred to as their parent. Similarly, transaction T11 and T12 are child transactions of transaction T1 and transaction T21 and T22 are child transactions of T2. Each sub-transaction starts after its parents and finish before it. For example, T11 and T12 start after a transaction T1 and finishes before it. When a sub-transaction completes, it makes an independent decision either to commit provisionally or to abort. A provisional commit is different from being prepared to commit. Nothing is backed up in a permanent storage. If the server crashes subsequently, its replacement will not be able to commit. After all the transactions have completed, the provisionally committed ones participate in two-phase commit protocol, in which the servers of a provisionally committed sub-transaction express their intention to commit and those with the aborted ancestor will abort. Being prepared to commit guarantees a sub-transaction will be able to commit, whereas a provisional commit only means that it has finished correctly and will probably agree to commit when it is subsequently asked so. A coordinator for a sub-transaction will provide an operation to open a sub-transaction together with an operation enabling that coordinator to inquire whether its parent has yet committed or aborted. A client starts a set of nested transactions by opening a top level transactions with an open transaction operation which returns transaction identifier for top level transaction. The client starts sub-transactions by invoking open sub-transaction operation whose argument specifies its parent transaction. The new sub-transaction automatically joins the parent transaction and the transaction identifier for the sub-transaction is returned. An identifier for a sub-transaction must be an extension of its parent's transaction ID, constructed in such a way that the identifier of the parent or of top level transaction of a sub transactions can be determined from its own transaction identifier. In addition, all the transaction identifiers should be globally unique. A client makes a set of nested transactions come to completion by invoking close transaction or abort transaction on the coordinator of the top level transaction. Consider a top level transaction T and its sub-transaction as shown in the figure. Each sub-transaction has either provisionally committed or aborted. For example, transaction T12 has provisionally committed and transaction T11 has aborted. But the fate of the transaction T12 depends on its parent transaction T1 and eventually on the top level transaction T. Although the transactions T21 and T22 have both provisionally committed, the transaction T2 has aborted and this means that the transaction T21 and T22 must also abort. Suppose that the transaction T decides to commit in spite of the fact that the transaction T2 has aborted and that the T1 has decided to commit in spite of the fact that the T11 has aborted. When the top level transaction completes, its coordinator carries out a two-phase commit protocol. The only reason for the participant sub-transactions being unable to complete is if it is crashed since it is completed its provisional commit. Recall that when each sub-transaction was created, it joined its parent transaction. Therefore, the coordinator of each parent transaction has a list of its child sub-transactions. When a nested transaction provisionally commits, it reports its status and the status of its descendants to its parents. When a nested transaction aborts, it just reports abort to its parents without giving any information about its descendants. Eventually, the top level transaction receives a list of all the sub transactions in the tree together with the status of each. The descendants of the aborted sub transactions are omitted from this list. When a sub transaction T2 aborted, it reported the fact to its parent T, but without passing any information to its sub transactions T21 and T22. A sub-transaction is an orphan if one of its ancestor aborts either explicitly or because of its coordinator crashes. In our example, sub-transactions T21 and transaction T22 are orphans because their parents aborted without passing an information about them to the top level transaction. Their coordinator can, however, make an inquiry about the status of their parents by using the guess status operation. A provisionally committed sub-transaction of an aborted transaction should be aborted irrespective of whether the top level transaction eventually commits. Now, whatever we have discussed previously, all is being summarized in this particular table, wherein it is going to show the coordinator of each of the transactions, the child transactions, who are all the participants, which are all the participants are going to have the provisional commit list, and which are all the participants are going to have a abort list.